Hi everyone, I'm Michelle from Vitality Reconnected. Each week I share tips and information with you to help you reconnect with your inner vitality. This week we're continuing on with our long-term series on women's body image. Today I have a fantastic interview for you from a very good friend of mine, Paul Eliseo. Paul is a coach in many senses of the words, and he has such a strong message to give to us far beyond just women and their body image. So let's get straight into it.
My name's Paul Eliseo and I'm 30 years old. The significant women in my life are actually all the women that have been in my life. I, even just this morning, realized the importance of every single relationship I've had in terms of, intimate partners. Even things that people I went to primary school with that I said something bad to. I really have been doing a lot of soul searching and realized just every interaction that I've had with the feminine energy, how I was blocking it, or I was rejecting it, or all the lessons and learnings in every single person has been very important. And I know that my mother in this life, and I know I'm going to say some out there concepts, I can already feel it happening, but even, whether it's a delusion of mine that I'm creating or it's a nice metaphor my unconscious mind's created, but past life connections with mother energy, the female feminine, that's something that I personally have done a lot of learning through and from that's helped me in this life. So I kind of feel like any expression of the feminine, whether that be a lady that I've met walking down the street, or a girl that I, paid out in primary school, or my current girlfriend, they're all super important because they're all got lots to teach me.
I love it. I love it. So before I ask you any specific questions on women's body image, when that topic is brought up, what are your thoughts and feelings on it just in general?
I think women's body image is a huge area of discussion. Like, I can just imagine so many different branches that we could go down in terms of how society is controlled by women, not just women, men. Like, for marketing, a woman's body is the thing. Okay, if you want to sell something, you put a woman's body on it. You put a good-looking, the perception of what a good-looking woman is. You put that on there, it's going to draw a male's attention. It's going to draw a female's attention, and it's magnetic. It's like the most powerful thing that I could imagine. Okay, so it's just highly charged energy, and I'm tingling just thinking about that idea of how powerful a woman's body image is, and then at that to the side, the amount of stigma that comes with being a woman, the amount of expectation, the amount of things that you have to be, or you're told you have to be, the role you have to play in society. You have to be strong. You have to be there for your kids. You have to have your shit together and be able to do all these million other things. It's like stresses me out even just thinking about how much things you have to do to be a woman if you were subscribing to that idea. Then there's like having worked with a lot of women in my coaching, just seeing how that all plays out in people's lives and the kind of pigeonholes they put themselves in, and the reality is based on those ideas. It's really, really interesting. I feel that it can be a thing in relationship as a block, but also as a real area of growth for both partners. And for me personally, I kind of see relationships as a mirror, and I see everything as a mirror, and I'm sure we're going to talk about this a lot. But, the partner you bring yourself is the perfect partner for you at the time. And if you are willing to explore yourself as a male or as a female, and what things come up with them and what things come up with you, it's one of the fastest personal development programs you ever get yourself into, and can be some of the most rewarding, that journey of working with your partner. It's really, really cool.
I think that's so true. I really do, because even just on the body image topic, as you know, I mean, we've discussed some of my shit on that, And, just everything that I've gone through with Troy on that, it's been something that's helped both of us understand each other more. And it's really fascinating how, the hard things, they can really bring you together and bond you, but they can challenge you on those levels too. So, yeah, it's really cool.
It's kind of interesting, like the idea of a magnet. The most energetic magnet, when you got close to it, if you're rejecting it, it pushes it away.
Yeah.
But if you're willing to take the energy on it, it brings it together. Because there's been a few things just recently with me and my partner that have been emotionally charged with us. We're working on ourselves. We're pressing each other's buttons. And I could see how people could bounce off of that and go, nah, this is too hard. I don't want to deal with that. But then when you sort it, it just brings everything together. And it's the deepest, the closest you're going to feel with someone, because you're healing them, they're healing you, and it's bringing you closer to you, really. Like that, the idea of intimacy, you actually, you've heard this idea, but, into me, I see, you're seeing into the person, you're seeing into yourself, and you're becoming more true, more closer to that unconditional love that is really the essence of what you really are. And just all other things dissolve around that, and it's really, really powerful, and it frees up a lot of energy. So your energy doesn't have to be caught up in those problems or those arguments about whatever the hell it is. You can use that energy to create with, because you're either in that survival or that creative mode, that growth or survival state. So when you free up that survival fight or flight state, you bring it to that creative state, that energy is really powerful. Because one thing that I'm sure we'll talk about a little bit more is, if you're not healing those things that are coming up, you're going to keep creating them. Because whether it's the self-talk, whether it's the emotion you're feeling, whether it's the partner, the other girl walking down the street, your friends, buttons for you, someone's knocking on the door. Whether it's the word in your head, that thing you keep saying to yourself, why does it keep coming? It's not that you hate yourself and you're a bad person, but that internal dialogue or that emotion is the knock on the door saying, hey, pay attention, open the door, listen. And if you don't open the door, someone else knocks louder and louder, and then, your life just keeps getting worse because you're not paying attention. And that happens with body signals like pain, etc. But if you actually open the door and you go, hey, I remember you, you're from there or you're from here, come in, let's have a chat, let's work it out. And then you absorb that energy and you bring it back into you, and then you can use it in a new way. It's actually quite healing. But I think a lot of people are scared to, open that door and see what's there. Or the saying I like to use is, the cave you fear to enter holds the treasures you seek. And a lot of people are afraid to enter the cave, because they think it's going to be dark. But when you go into the cave with a light and you shine the light on that darkness, you actually see the jewels and the gems that are all there for you to receive. So I'm sure we're going to talk about, internal dialogue and some of the things people say to themselves, but a lot of the internal dialogue that I've witnessed in myself and in clients is not actually their voice. The things that they're beating themselves up with their head are something someone said to them when they were younger, something they heard in passing, and it's repeated and repeated, and they think it's their voice, but when they're really silent and really still and they're actually present enough to hear who it is, it's their mother, it's their father, it's their first boyfriend, first girlfriend. It's something that's not usually them, and it's just on replay. But it's on replay because it's knocking and saying, hey, look, remember me, heal me, and free that energy up so you can do new stuff with it. And I've heard a lot of people talk about inner dialogue and stuff before, but I'm not sure they really understand it, because I've only just personally really come to the conclusion of how I think it works anyway, because it's probably completely wrong, but it's a useful model. And what a lot of people think is, it's just something you need to quiet. But I don't think you need to quiet. I think you need to pay attention to it. And then in doing that, it quiets itself. It goes, okay, you get me. We're friends now. I can let you do what you need to do.
I really like that, because I've thought on a similar wavelength myself, going, if it's there, it's got a purpose. It's trying to tell me something. You know how, like, when you're in pain, your body's trying to tell you something. I think it's the same with that inner dialogue. It's trying to point you in the direction that you need to go. Exactly.
And one thing that people say, like, why do I keep remembering all the bad things that happened to me? Why do I keep remembering that bad thing that happened when I was this old? And it's like, it's not showing you you're a bad person. It's not showing you that you need to remember this and the rest of your life you have to be a slave to that. It's going, look, see this thing I'm showing you, pay attention to it. Go back and spend some time working out what you learned from that so you don't do it again. Go back and see, like, lessons and things. Why did you create me? Learn from me now so you don't have to keep doing it. Because if you keep pushing it away, that's holding energy down. This is a really interesting idea and concept that I really like. Imagine all those emotions and thoughts that are in your head all the time. You're trying to hold them down. That's taking a lot of energy. So like the idea that I've heard someone describe was pushing balls down underwater. And each one of those emotions, thoughts, you're holding underwater. And you're like, no, like, I'm okay. And then as soon as you're not looking, the ball pops out and hits you in the face, hits someone else in the face, and it causes a massive drama. But in looking at those shadow aspects or looking at the part of yourself that you're afraid to acknowledge, you actually can go, okay, this ball here, what is it? Do I need that anymore? Nah, cool. And then that arm's free. You've got the energy to start doing things with. And you're just freeing up that energy. And a lot of what I feel like I'm doing myself and what I'm doing with the clients and the people I teach is teaching them how to free up their energy from the past so they can create a better future. Because I think a lot of people get caught up in this idea of self-development and making yourself a better person. I don't think you need to make yourself a better person. I think you're already good as you are. You just got to get rid of all the things that aren't you anymore that you learn so that you can reinforce those lessons and learning so you can, go back to your true essence and have that understanding, that knowledge, that wisdom of actually overcoming those obstacles, not because you were bad, but because you were already good. You just had to remind yourself of it. Does that make sense?
Makes perfect sense, and I think it's brilliant. So I want to ask you on the subject of women's body image. I mean, I know that you've coached plenty of women, and myself included, on this topic, but I wanted to ask, how has it directly impacted your life? Have you experienced a girlfriend or friends or someone who's struggled with accepting their body and who they are? And if so, how did that impact you and the relationship that you could or couldn't have with them?
Yeah, okay, cool. This is interesting. I'm going to rewind back as far as I can remember. So even growing up, just seeing how much energy and effort it took for my mum to get ready. The hair, the makeup, the shoulder pads. I was a kid in the 80s, okay? So, she had to get the perm right. She had to get the shoulder pads happening. But it was, just seeing the amount of energy it took before she could even be out in the world, before she could, front reality, That's a lot of pressure, I don't know how long it took actually, but, every day, every time you go out, you got to get the shoes, the clothes have to match, it's just something that as a guy, like, I don't have to think about. I'm super low maintenance. Like, the beard is happening at the moment, but, normally I just shave everything at the same time. And like, I go out and that's me done, I take a couple minute shower, I'm done. I'm ready for the world. But as a woman, just how much we are programmed to think that needs to happen before you're allowed to go out and be in public and show who you are to people. You have to be looking 100%. You can't walk out just being how you wake up, That's huge. I think alone, that's just such an energy drain. Now, how much energy do you have to create what you want in life if you have to spend 2 hours a day doing makeup and stuff? I don't know how long it takes, but it's a long time. So that's, already something that as a man, I don't have to deal with in terms of what I want to do. If I want to just go do something, I can do that straight away. But I think that's already a stress because I'm not sure, I'm not a woman at the moment, so I don't know what it's like how do you feel leaving the house if you haven't done that? Is it a stress, like thinking, oh, am I going to run into someone that I know? Is someone going to see me thinking, whoa, is she having a bad day? Or like, I could just imagine people judging you because you haven't polished yourself to look like you're on top of the world and everything's cool. I think that's huge. And even just the amount of money that women have to spend, or not have to, but are spending to be, looking good with makeup, with cosmetics, with, the right dresses, the right clothes, shoes. Like, it's just ridiculous. It's something I don't have to experience. And I just could imagine the amount of energy it takes. So if I can imagine the energy that I have, the amount of energy that a woman would have, my energy is just going, okay, this much energy can go straight to that. Women go, okay, this much energy has to go to shoes, has to go to this, has to look good, this and that. Then you've got this much energy left to kind of just do the things you want to do. And it has to be built on this first though. I think it's pretty unfair. It's not, it wouldn't be fun. I don't think, if I had to spend half my time thinking about having to be this thing before I could do stuff, it's pretty interesting. And then there's the whole, women have to go through the monthly cycles of pain. And I mean, it doesn't have to be pain. I know that if everything's working properly, it isn't painful for most people, but it is painful for a lot of women. And that is something that as a guy, I don't have to go through. And I know guys do have cycles. We have our menstruation cycle and stuff like that, and we do get moody. But I think that's an interesting experience to be having as a woman, that kind of thing. There's just I feel like tired thinking about how much would have to go into being a woman. Just even getting ready, even making sure that, all your stuff's working properly, you got the look right. That's a lot. And then there's the whole, social, women have to do this, men have to do that. Oh, you can't do that job. You can't do this. Even back in school, sports day, you would pick all the guys before you'd pick a girl. And sometimes you'd pick a girl, but she'd be the more manly girl or the more dominant, strong woman, and then it's kind of a weird dilemma that gets created when that happens, because women think they have to be more masculine before they get chosen. It's a weird kind of idea, because a lot of what's happening in workforces, in society, is women are becoming so masculine in the do, and have to be this, have to achieve this. They're not just trusting and being in flow and letting things come to them. Because a woman that's truly in that feminine energy is very magnetic, very, appealing. It's really cool. But over-dominant masculine woman is strong, confident, whatever. But it's kind of like man energy. Do you know what I mean? So it's sexy in its own way, but it's kind of different. It's not that magnetic kind of thing. It's like, I'm sexy, look at me kind of thing. It's like the alluring feminine energy is ooh, it's kind of hypnotic. It's interesting. So that's a whole nother kettle of fish. But then I know through what I've seen in my sisters, just how much more they have to think about just fitting in and, being certain ways around certain people and things like that. It's really interesting. I know with partners through life, pretty much most of the women I've been with in my life as partners have had sort of body stuff, whether it's a reflection of where I was at that time in my life, I'm probably sure it was, but it's just, interesting to see that, even giving compliments or, saying they look nice, they wonder if you're saying it for another reason, or they're not accepting this, the truth of that you find them beautiful. So it's kind of like, as a man, to get through to a woman, it's almost impossible sometimes. If they've got that internal block, doesn't matter how much you try to make them understand how you see them, and they're going to look at the world through their eyes. They're going to see what they think. And then anything that someone else says, like another girl says you look good, or they're like, oh, she's just saying that because she doesn't think I look good. Or, anything that you say, they're like, oh, he's just saying that because he wants to get some later, or, he's probably trying to make up for that thing that I said before, or whatever. It's really interesting. I think they're the main sort of things I can think of. I'm sure there's a million others, but that already, in just playing out those, imagining being a woman and going through all that stuff, that's pretty stressful. Seriously, I'm not just, I kind of feel the energy shift in my body of having to think about all those other balls to juggle before you've even done anything that you really want to do. That's a lot. That is really full on.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a very different world for men and women, that's for sure. When you said that you've experienced girlfriends that haven't been able to receive your love and compliments, do you remember how that maybe impacted your relationship, or even just how you felt as a person with being rejected?
Cool. Okay, so this is great because I did some work on this morning. I've kind of been creating this reality where the way I was expressing love to people, somehow I wasn't getting through to them. And that was rejection of something that I had something happen to me as a younger male, and basically went to express my love in the form of a song. In primary school, it was really funny. Well, it's funny now, but it was pretty traumatic at the time. I had really liked this girl, like super first crush, you know what I mean? Like, I'm gonna marry this girl, it's gonna be amazing. And at the time, really into music, really into all that kind of stuff. And I don't know how it worked out, but one of her friends and one of my friends kind of got together and kind of made up this thing where saying that she wanted me to sing to her, and then she'd want to go out with me. I'm like, sweet. So me being this young, naive boy was like, I'm going to sing, I'm going to fucking woo her, it's going to be amazing. So I walked up, and she kind of ran into the toilet, and like all these people stand around, and I belted out this song, like, you know, Open the Heart. I was like, just smashing it. And then I kind of looked around, and everyone was laughing at me. And it kind of became this thing for me in the back of my head about expressing my love. And then I think from then on, like I've done a lot of work on it, so I'm cool with it now, and I can talk about it and have a bit of a smile about it. But it changed form, and in different relationships, however I tried to communicate or express my love, whether it was doing something, saying something, being physical, I kept creating realities where my partner would somehow not accept it, and it wouldn't be enough. So it made me feel like what I was doing was never good enough. And this happened in a lot of things. And even to my last sort of relationship that I was in, just, you know, wanting nothing more than helping the person to be happy, and having all the skills that I have, all the knowledge that I have, knowing that no matter what I did, it was never enough. That was really hard for me. It made me feel really, really sad, knowing that all I ever wanted was the person I was with to be happy, and nothing I could do could actually get that across the line. So that was reflecting back to me that belief that I had, that people wouldn't, no matter what I did, it wouldn't be enough, or my love wouldn't be received. So now that I've healed that, I feel like that's going to change, and I won't be necessarily attracting partners that will be showing me that. But it was pretty like banging my head against the wall for a very long time. I felt like no matter what I did, no matter what I said, no matter how hard I worked, no matter how much I try to support them, no matter what I did physically, no matter how good my body looked, no matter how good I actually, what I did, wasn't being received. So it was pretty hard. It was pretty hard.
Yeah, sounds like it. So I want to ask you, for the women that end up watching this video, what message do you want them to take away from, women's body image from a male's perspective, not from a female's perspective? If they only take away one thing from listening to what you have to say today, what would you like that to be?
One thing, this is going to be hard for me to pin down.
Absolutely. I'll give you a challenge.
Okay, one thing. No one can love you more than you let yourself love yourself. It doesn't matter how much the guy you're with, they see the world in you, they think you're amazing, you fart glitter, roses and flowers open up as you walk past, and they want to carry you and serenade you. In their eyes, in their heart, that's what they see. But if you don't see that in yourself, it does not matter what they do. You're not going to get it, and they're never going to be able to give it to you. So it really starts with, opening yourself up and learning to love and accept yourself. I believe that life is a journey of self-discovery, self-acceptance, and self-expression. So know thyself, love thyself, be thyself. You need to really learn to love yourself and everything that's happened to you, because it's all there to teach you stuff. You need to learn to be open to receive the good and the bad, because when you try to block the bad, you're blocking the good as well. You can't block just one thing. It's a block on everything. And, a lot of people try to protect themselves from not being hurt, but you're protecting yourself from feeling love. It's pretty messed up. We think that we're going to just try to block the bad, but you're blocking the good. And you're never going to get to experience what life's really like if you have those blocks up. And, you stay safe, but we're not here to, play this little volume on one or two. You want to experience all of life. Yeah, you might get really hurt, but guess what? You're going to have some of the best experiences you're ever going to have, and it's going to be worth it, because it's going to teach you the next time to enjoy it even more. and the next time to enjoy it even more, and take everything. Be in that moment. When your partner tells you they love you, feel that. Open your heart, connect with them, and when you make love to them, you make love to them. When you having a dinner, like be there, be present, and really experience life. Don't have to live with the guard up all the time, because you're wasting your energy holding the guard up. You're blocking everything that's going from you to them, and them to you, vice versa. And a man's never going to be happy if he's only ever receiving. Like, a man wants to provide. A man, by nature, wants to make you feel safe. They want to give you everything they can. They want to hunt for you. They want to provide for you. They want to make you feel safe. They want to be your knight in shining armor. So let them do that, because they're going to feel fulfilled, because you're letting them fulfill you. Because the man wants to, they want to feel. They want to feel you physically. They want to feel you emotionally. And they want to, metaphysically, metaphorically, you become whole when that energy is connected. So just let yourself in, and then your partner's going to be able to do that too. I don't know if that was one thing. I don't know if that was...
I love it. No, I think it all relates to one thing. We'll allow that to be one thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you have any particular areas on women's body image that you wanted to bring up and touch on at all?
Geez. Well, I think one thing is, well, there's lots of things. Okay, the one thing again. But I think that external validation, like we just talked about with relationships, but this is everything. Expecting other people to see your beauty, or, waiting for someone to say this or that to you to feel it. That's only ever going to give you a temporary kind of, I heard this expression the other day. Julia was doing this yoga thing. She came back and she was talking to me about it. And she read it in the Bhagavad Gita, which is really cool. She said that physical, the physical sensation of something, or the physical gratification, is like a drop of the water in a desert. It's not going to satisfy you or fulfill you. It's going to give you enough that you'll get more thirsty. Okay? So when you go internal, that well overflows. You can just drink from that forever. You can constantly be giving more and more to yourself, and the more you give to yourself, the more you have, and it starts this cycle. So expecting that external, validation, or someone saying something or doing something for you, that'll give you that taste of the water, like, oh, that's great, I want more of that. And you just get more and more thirsty. So I kind of feel that learning to go inward is one of the most powerful things, not just for a woman, but for everyone, and really doing that. And in saying that, realizing that when you're looking at people externally, to realize that you're only ever looking at yourself as well. So everything you're judging in that other people, or you're labeling, it's really showing you something inside yourself that you need to heal. So be aware of this. This is not something to beat yourself up over. It goes, okay, well, I just said that girl looks like shit. Like, what about me do I need to say that about someone? How can I learn to love that in myself when I'm having a bad day, and go, maybe that girl was just having a bad day. I'll send her some love today, and have that for yourself. So let yourself have a bad day, have a bad hair day or whatever. So I think that's really important too. I think learning to look for where focus goes, energy flows. So when you're looking for the bad and how other people look, that's going to be reflected in you looking for that in yourself too. But also learning to look for what's good in you, what you like and love about yourself, because you're going to find whatever you look for. If you look for, how am I not good enough yet? How am I, how's my body not right? Whatever, you're going to find it. You'll be there all day and, forever. So we want to look at what we like, or what's, what's good about ourselves. And it may be hard to start with your body to start with, but start with anything. I like the fact that I'm taking the time to do this for myself. I like the whatever, start wherever you're at, and then just build on that. And before you know it, those things that you thought were bad, or the things you don't like about yourself, you actually learn to love, which is really cool too.
I think that's really awesome advice. I love it. Is there anything that you'd like to finish off with? I know we could talk for days on this subject in general, but...
I just think being conscious of what you're creating in life, if it is a body image thing, realize that's just a reflection of your internal state, okay? So if you don't like your body, or you don't like anything that's happening. It's just showing you something that's deeper. So look at the reflection and go, how am I judging myself on something, or how am I letting this be a limitation to me from stopping from doing something else? And doing some work and exploring healing that, because you don't need to waste energy holding those balls down or distracting yourself with that, because you've already got to do your hair, you've already got to get enough stress, you've already got to do heaps of stuff. If you want to get at what you want out of life, free up that energy and start creating what you want. And I'm going to use a corny saying, one of the, I don't know what makeup company is, but you're worth it. You're worth doing what you're here to do. You're worth exploring yourself and freeing that healing so that you can be who you want to be, and then you can show other people how to do that. And the world needs you to shine, so free up the energy that's wasted on your head or in your head about not being good enough or, whatever, because you need to believe in yourself and show other people how to do that, so then everyone else can do that.
So I'd love to hear from you and your thoughts on this topic. What did you take away from today's interview? Comment in below. And if you like what you see, make sure that you hit subscribe. I put new videos up every Monday.